Hey friend, welcome back to the Anchored with Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Wilkinson, and today we're diving into something that surrounds us every single day and often feels like it's swallowing us up. We're talking about home. Now, I had promised you last week that we were going to dive into each of the 10 life anchors, and I'm excited to kick it off with the home. Why? Because this is where we spend most of our time. This is where our family lives. This is where we have the opportunity to create exactly the home environment that we want. And I'm not talking about walls and furniture, but an environment that either lifts you up or drags you down. I want to talk about the sacred space you're creating for your family and how your home can become a place of peace, purpose, and presence even if it is far from Pinterest perfect, because friend, we are not aiming for Pinterest perfect here. So grab your coffee or the laundry basket. I promise I won't judge. And let's talk about anchoring peace in your home. Feeling lost, overwhelmed? Feel like you're just barely holding it together? Have you lost sight of who you are and what truly matters? Juggling a million things, wearing all of the hats, and feeling your identity slipping through your fingers? You're in the right place, friend. Welcome to the Anchored with Purpose podcast, where faith meets family and dreams become reality. I'm your host, Melissa Wilkinson, a Catholic, wife, mom of two, and entrepreneur on a mission to help you reignite your faith, find peace in the midst of chaos, and boldly pursue the big dreams God has placed on your heart. Each week, we'll dive into practical tips, inspiring stories, and faith-based strategies to help you build the daily faith practice, pursue your biggest dreams, and live a life filled with purpose and joy. If you're ready to strengthen your faith, nurture your family, and achieve your biggest dreams, you're in the right place, friend. Pop in your AirPods and grab your coffee. Let's get anchored with purpose together. Okay, first let's talk about why does the home anchor even matter? I had shared before that I created these 10 life anchors based out of some questions and prompts I had read in a book, and home was not on there. But the more and more time I spent working on helping women dream and helping them find peace and purpose, the more I found that the home is critical and so important. And let's face it, when your home feels chaotic, everything feels so much harder. But when your home is clean and welcoming and calm, it has the power to settle your spirit. And guess what? There's research to back this up. A study from Princeton University found that physical clutter in your surrounding competes for your attention, resulting in decreased performance and increased stress. I can tell you that I have felt this way my entire life. Anytime my surroundings are cluttered, I feel completely overwhelmed. I feel completely stressed. I can't focus. In fact, I can think back to middle school, high school, and college when, you're just confined to one bedroom for most of things. And if I were trying to study and get things done, I couldn't handle it. Sometimes the mess would just get to me. Was I the neatest and tidiest of students? No, not at all. You can ask my college roommate, Nina, how that went. But I can tell you that every Friday I did tidy up my room. But there were days when I would try and study and I would have to tidy up first, even if it wasn't a Friday, because I couldn't handle the clutter. It just felt like it was closing in on me. And the same thing happens in your house. If you are surrounded by clutter and mess, and I'm not just talking about full sinks worth of dishes. I'm talking about stuff all over the floor, overflowing garbage cans, beds not made, clothes all over the place. Friend, that is hurting you right there. That's just dragging you down. I want to share something that UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives of Families found that mothers who describe their homes as cluttered have higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Okay, let's talk about this. I didn't even learn about what cortisol was until about 2023 when I was working with a nutritionist, and my cortisol levels were off the charts for various reasons. But I can tell you, I can feel the difference between when the cortisol is coursing through my body and when it is not. And that feeling when it is not coursing through your body, whew, it's just calmer and more peaceful. But when that cortisol is flowing, you're living in that fight or flight stage, and your home shouldn't have to make you feel that way. And I'm not saying that this means you have to have a perfectly pristine home all of the time and that everything has to be, have a certain aesthetic with, like the certain wall color and matching containers. It just means that your home should reflect your values, support your peace, serve your purpose, and be somewhere where you want to be that doesn't stress you out. So, I want to share, of course, from some scripture because we have to dive into that when we're talking about things. So, scripture reminds us that our homes aren't just places to live, they're places to love, nurture, and grow our families in holiness. Proverbs 24, 3-4 says, "By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures." Now, this doesn't mean Pottery Barn treasures. It means the people, the presence of God, the love, the laughter, the traditions, and the memories. Your home can be a domestic church, a place where the faith is lived out in ordinary and beautiful ways. Now, I've shared with you some of my favorite ways to have domestic church at home, and that is like having some specific devotion and prayer time with my kids, blessing them with holy water, and sharing a certain blessing and intentions over their days. But there are ways also that we can connect our space with what's sacred. And I want to share with you that you don't have to burn yourself out keeping your house spotless. It's not all on you. If you're living alone, yes, it's all on you, friend. It's all on you. But if you are living with other human beings that have the ability and the capability to help you, it needs to be a family affair. You can ask for help. I know it's hard. Asking for help is really hard, but everybody in the household can be involved and help out. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before you even do that, I want you to invite God into your space. Invite God if you're struggling with keeping a tidy house or struggling with meal prep. Hello, I'm raising my hand if you can't see me because that's something that I struggle with every single week. If you're struggling with keeping up with laundry and folding it, or keeping up with a solid like morning routine or night routine, pray. Ask God for your help, like for his help with these things. And then while you're doing it, invite him into that space. So if it's while you're meal prepping, this is where like I love to have some praise and worship music going. And I just ask him like, God, please help me do this. Please help me make healthy meals for the week. Please help me prepare this food so my family has healthy food. And something special happens. Not magic. I didn't say magic. Something special happens is that you can feel God in that space. And he truly does help you. Now, I want to talk about what are some practical ways for a peaceful home. So, let's talk about simplifying the space. And when I say simplify, we're going to start by decluttering. So, what area in your house do you want to start with? Maybe you are completely overwhelmed, and if you had to rate the cleanliness and tidiness of your house on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1, it looks like a volcano erupted in my house and an earthquake shook and everything is everywhere, to 10, it's picture perfect all of the time. Anybody could stop by and I wouldn't be embarrassed. You could eat off of the floors. If you're feeling somewhere, in the middle or closer to that 1, that earthquake volcano happened in your house, we're going to start by picking one space that you can declutter and get clean. And that space is going to be your inspiration. Now, I want to share with you one of my coaching clients. The benefit of this one is that this is a local coaching client. So I was actually able to help her. After a life evaluation and some of our coaching sessions, we identified that home is the one life anchor, one of the two that we're focusing on. But as far as the home anchor goes, she wanted to get her house in a peaceful, tidy state where she felt calm and not so chaotic. So we worked on a plan for it and I helped her get started. So, first, before I even showed up at her house, we picked the room in the house that she wanted to focus on. For her, she wanted to focus on her bedroom, making this a place of peace and calm where she and her husband could retreat at the end of the night and just have a clean, tidy, peaceful place. So I had given her some ways she could get started before I got there. And when I showed up at her house, we got right to work. We worked on, tossing things that needed to be tossed, organizing, redoing everything. Because she got such a head start, we were actually able to move in and work in her bathroom as well, which was great. But some really cool things happened that, were just fun and surprising. So first, when we got this room done, like I could see the peace on her face. It just, oh, wow, how fun was that seeing that impact and that one space in the house, really two spaces, her primary bedroom and primary bathroom, nice, tidy, clean, bright places where, she wanted to spend time. But here's another cool thing that happened. When her husband and kids came home, her kids were so excited. One of them said, "Hey guys, can we go to my room next? Can we go in? Are we going to do this?" And the whole house could not wait to get started on his bedroom, which was just so exciting. And as we were talking, we were talking about whose responsibility it is in the house to keep everything tidy. And we're going to go back to the fact that it is everybody's responsibility. As women, sometimes we carry that burden on ourselves, whether it's because of generational stereotyping where, we think back to June Cleaver in the 60s, right? Who, perfect housewife, vacuumed in high heels and pearls. Girl, when I'm vacuuming, it's in yoga pants and a messy bun. Let's be real. But it is not all on us. This is where, you've heard me share this in other podcast episodes, you get the whole family involved. Anybody who's living there who's perfectly capable. Now, when I say perfectly capable, do I mean that babies can help? No, but what can they do? So as your kids start getting a little bit older, you can determine who can help with what. And we started with very simple little chores in our house, and they've evolved. So first of all, everybody has to clean up all, like any toys, right? If they got it out and played with it, they have to be a part of that cleanup. And teaching them at a young age to be in charge of cleanup is huge. Will you have to help them? Yes. Will you have to follow up? Yes. Is it always fun to remind our children, hey, we've got to clean up. Come on, we've got to clean up. No. Gosh, that is one of the hardest parts of parenting, is that we do sometimes have to sound like a broken record. And sometimes we have to be the bad guy, even if, your kids want to, like, oh, hey, now can we go play outside? After we clean up all the Legos, we can go play outside. And then as we're talking about chores, right? If you're not someone who a housekeeper is in your budget, then it's really important to get everybody involved in chores. And I'm talking about daily chores and weekly chores too. So every single day before school, my kids are responsible for not just getting themselves ready, brushing their teeth, getting dressed, taking care of their own breakfast, packing their own lunch. They also have to make their beds. They have to open up blinds and curtains because we got to let some sunlight into the house. And then they also just have to make sure their room is tidy before they leave for school. And this sets the tone for the day too. So by the time everybody leaves for school, all beds are made, all blinds and curtains are open, and the upstairs just feels peaceful. So then when I come downstairs to work, I know upstairs is good to go. Nothing has to happen up there until bedtime, which is just, what a great feeling. It's Amazing. Now, when we talk about weekly chores, I did share this on another podcast episode, but I want to share with you again how important it is to give your kids ownership over certain areas. So, for example, my kids clean all of the bathrooms in the house. They clean sinks, toilets, mirrors, all of that. They empty all of the garbage cans and put fresh garbage can liners in. They take out the trash from the kitchen. So, it's just based on what their age is and what kind of responsibility they can handle. So, can your 2-year-old, put away his own laundry? Maybe not, but your 2-year-old can help you pull out the little tiny garbage bag from the garbage can, and then you can show them how to put the new one in. And it's a fun way to get them engaged. And my kids have been helping for a long time. And we're at the point now where it's just so nice. Like when we say, okay, guys, it's time for weekend chores, they do it without a fight. And here's one of the key parts of this too, is that they are rewarded for helping out. So they do know that helping out is a part of what we do in this family, but also that they're getting paid for it. So we use the Greenlight app, and we've been using this for a couple of years now. My kids love it. We love it. I don't have to worry about having cash to pay them an allowance. They get paid based on how old they are. So Sean is 10. He gets paid $10 a week for his chores. Andrew is 12 and he gets paid $12 a week for his. Actually, by the time this episode comes out, he might be 13 because that's really soon, which is crazy to me that I have a teenager. But so they get, again, $1 per how old they are per week. What I do love about this also, we can help them determine how much they want to put in savings, how much they want to put in a tithing account, and then how much they want to invest to and what they can keep in their spending account. My gosh, I could just do a whole episode on why we love Greenlight. If you want to try out Greenlight, I'll put a link for you for a free $30. Cannot recommend it enough. We love it. But knowing that they get paid helps them be more willing to do chores. And it's just such a help too, because it shouldn't just be one person's responsibility. And that goes for your husband too. He should also be helping. So it doesn't have to be, oh, that's an inside chore and the women do the inside chores and the men do the outside chores. No, we're a family. We work together. So if your husband notices a sink full of dirty dishes, he should be able to handle those, right? Now, again, you might have to ask for help. I'm not bashing men, but I'm saying sometimes they just might not notice what needs to be done. And we might have to help them notice without getting upset and without getting angry and without this token phrase that I've heard so many times, I shouldn't have to tell him, right? In our heads, it makes sense. You see a sink full of dirty dishes, you load them in the dishwasher, and you take care of it, right? Well, I'm going to tell you a trick to that too. The trick is have everybody in your house load the dishwasher as you go so that you don't have to worry about a sink full of dirty dishes except on rare occasions. But that's just another little tip I have. Also, when it comes to things like the laundry, I have to share my favorite laundry hack with you because it was a game changer for me. And this is, I don't just wash one load of laundry, fold it, put it away, all of that. I don't have time for that. My schedule doesn't work that way. My brain doesn't work that way. When it comes to laundry, I will batch wash laundry. And just like I batch other duties for my job and for the podcast, when I record a podcast, I don't just record one episode. I will often record multiple episodes in a day, which is why I'm saying this one might come out around Andrew's birthday. But so I wash it all at one time and then I fold it all in one time. And everybody gets their own tote with their own clothes in it. And I like to use 31 isn't around anymore, but I love to use the 31 large utility totes for this. And they just fit all the way across my washer and dryer, which is amazing. I fold everybody's clothes into there, which when you wash, like if I do a load of Andrew's clothes and a load of Sean's clothes, and then 2 loads of mine and Jeff's clothes, what's great is when I get to Andrew's clothes, I'm just folding all of Andrew's clothes, which goes super quick when I don't have to sort through and say, oh, this is mine. Oh, this is Sean's. Oh, this is Jeff's. Nope, folding all of Andrew's clothes that way. So then I do the same thing for Sean. And then for mine and Jeff's, it's easy to tell our clothes apart. But then everybody else in the house is responsible for putting away their own laundry. And this helps too, because then you're not responsible. And the trick is they have to actually put it away. And by giving them their own laundry tote, you're not waiting for laundry baskets to come back. Everyone has their own. And when you go to fold laundry again, if their tote isn't there, then that's when you find them. Stop them from doing whatever they're doing. My kids will sometimes, I'll be honest, they don't always fold it right away. And that's frustrating, but that's real life. But if by the time it's time for me to do laundry for them again, and I go to fold their laundry and their tote isn't down there, then I have to find them, stop them from playing video games or whatever, and say, hey, Sean, before you can do anything else, you have to put away this laundry because mom needs your tote. And that kind of has that sense of urgency. And I have to share a funny story. I don't remember if I shared this with you guys yet or not, but a few years ago, Sean was much younger, and he had put away his laundry probably a day or two after I had folded it for him. And like another day, I, did laundry again and folded it and brought his tote back in his room. And he looked at me and he said, you refilled that again? And I said, well, buddy, here's a tip. Anything you put in your hamper, I'm going to wash and then I'm going to fold and it's going to go back in here. So think about that before you put things in your hamper. And it was funny. Now he gets that, but he is still my biggest culprit on like wearing something for a few minutes and throwing it in the hamper. But it's him that has to put it away. And let me share just that other simple little tip with you right there. Every kid has their own hamper in their own room. And this helps keep the clothes off of the floor. In my house, nobody is allowed to have clothes on the floor at any point in time in any room in the house. It is not okay with me. I have shared with my family, I find it disrespectful that we all work so hard to keep this house tidy and clean. And it's disrespectful when you leave clothes on the floor. Plus, I don't know about you, but that feeling of clothes on the floor, just like I feel like my house is closing in on me, could just be me. But by giving everyone a hamper, then that you don't have to worry about dirty clothes on the floor. If something is clean, it goes in the drawer. If it's dirty, it goes in the hamper. If it's in the in-between phase, which I know there's controversy over what you do with the in-between phase, we fold it up. And for the boys, they put it on their dresser. For Jeff and I, we have like a little bench in our room for like, a pair of jeans or something. But we want to make sure that by instilling these habits in our kids, we're setting them up for success in life. And when we take that time to then go room by room in the house, tidy it up and organize it, it feels so much better. Your kids can see it, they notice it, and they'll also notice if the house starts to get messy again. And I want to share with you, is my house 100% clean and tidy all of the time? No, it's not. We're not perfect here. I've got my one area of the house where that is where the clutter goes to live. I shouldn't say it goes there to live because nothing ever stays there for long. But everything in my house has a home. If it's like in an in-between phase, or it's like if we've got like this area that we use as a drop zone. It's our butler's pantry. Like the butler's pantry is messy most of the time. I hate admitting that, but it is. But it's also kind of out of the way and nobody sees it. But I don't like anything on the kitchen counters, especially when I'm trying to cook, can't get the clutter, can't have the clutter in there. So pick one area of your house that you're okay with being a little bit of a drop zone. And it's okay. And I'm sure there's going to be like home organizers who come after me for this and like, what? Have one space that's cluttered? Listen, it works. And if it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't work for you, great. Whatever works. But I wanted to share this with you. So I want you to also think about what is your peaceful place in your home going to be? You know that I love talking about having that morning faith practice and that time with God. So where is your place? And pick that home and make it sacred, or pick that area of your home and make it sacred and special for you. So for me, it's in my office. I've got a cozy chase lounge with some pillows and a blanket. And I've got, you'll laugh, but I've got my red light that goes over it. And I've got a recovery mat on there that uses infrared heat, and that just feels amazing. I can be like snuggled up on the lounge, reading the word, journaling my gratitude. I've got a little tote that has all of my devotionals in it, my journal, my pen, my highlighters, all of that. And then I've got a fun little ottoman that goes with it, that's where I put my coffee in the morning. So pick your place wherever that is, but pick your place in the home and make it special for you. Make it special. So wherever it is, it doesn't matter. Mine originally was in the kitchen at the old house. Here in the house that we live in now, my office is the perfect place for that. Even if it is like 2 little square feet that you carve out for yourself, make it special. You can put a candle there. You can have your Bible, whatever is going to make it special for you, where you're just excited to wake up and connect with the Lord. Make sure to do that. So here's another thing. I want you to celebrate the wins when you make some positive changes in your home too. So this is something, I'll go back to the example where, I had worked with one of my coaching clients on helping her with her home. I had texted her the morning after we worked on her room, and I said, "Good morning. How does it feel waking up, opening the blinds, and looking around your beautiful new clean space?" And she said, "Oh my gosh, it feels amazing. I actually slept with the blinds open so that I had the sunlight coming in, and it just felt incredible waking up to this space." So, friend, I want you to do the same thing. Take a moment and celebrate any progress you're making in your home. And I want to remind you, guys, this takes time. Like if you're starting, and you rated your home like, a 1, like it needs some help. It's going to take time. You're not going to get the whole thing done in a week, but you can make some big progress in just a few hours. Okay. Can I be real with you for a second? There will always be days when the dishes are stacked high, the couch is covered in crumbs, and you'll feel like peace is a long lost dream. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human. God doesn't love you more when your floors are clean. But there is something holy about honoring your space, because your home is the backdrop to the life that God is writing for your family. 1 Corinthians 14:33 tells us this: "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." When we invite him into our homes, we can trade that chaos for calm. And not because the space is perfect, but because his presence is there. So think about, what are some ways that you're inviting God into your home? I mean, of course, you're going to, call out and welcome him, but what are some other ways that you're doing this? What are some other reminders that you can have for yourself and for your family that this house, has the presence of God in it? So does that mean you've got a crucifix over your front door, or your dinner prayer on the wall in your dining room, or some of your favorite verses framed throughout the house? Whatever it is, make sure that they are reminding you. So, don't just look at it and be like, "Oh, that's nice." Make sure to take a moment when you pass that and just remind yourself that God's presence is here. So here's what I want you to do this week. I want to encourage you, first of all. And if you're feeling like you need to make a change in your home, I want you to start with picking one small space. Tidy it, declutter it, but do it with intention. So whether it's one drawer or one room, start there. Then you're going to celebrate the wins. Another thing I want you to do is talk to your family about how they can get on board. So it's Whether you're assigning chores for the first time, whether it's having a conversation about new expectations in the home, but get your family on board. If you've got 4 people living in your home, 4 people can get something done so much faster than 1 person can. And here's the last thing I want to leave you with. I want you to ask God. Here's a tiny little breath prayer you can pray. Lord, help me create a home where your peace reigns. I'm going to say that again. Lord, help me create a home where your peace reigns. You don't need to have it all together to create a peaceful home. You need to show up, invite God in, and take one step at a time. You were made to build a space that reflects God's love, not just for your family, but for your own soul too. You, friend, you should have that peace in your home. You should feel relaxed when you walk through the door, not chaotic. You can do this. Here's what I'm going to ask you. If this episode encouraged you, or maybe you've got a friend who might need to hear this, would you take a moment and share it with them? I want this to be a blessing and an inspiration to women everywhere. And until next time, my sweet friend, stay anchored in purpose. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Anchored with Purpose podcast. I hope you're leaving inspired, encouraged, and ready to take action on your biggest dreams. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another friend who needs some encouragement. Your support helps us reach more women just like you who are seeking to live a life anchored in faith, family, and purpose, and pursuing their biggest dreams. And don't forget to join our Anchored with Purpose tribe on Facebook, where we continue the conversation and support each other in living out our God-given dreams. Until next time, remember, you are loved, you are chosen, and you have what it takes to achieve your biggest dreams. Bye for now, friend.